TrueCrimeKing back.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this marvellous Monday. I'm back. I had a 2-day sabbatical. Needed to have a little bit of a break. But in my break, I did...
Shut up, Harsh. What's up, guys? TrueCrimeKing back. Alright, as you can see, trigger warning. This video shows blood. Not as much as you would think, but it shows some. So viewer discretion is advised, guys. This guy is a freaking clown. I mean, he's still doing. I mean, the case is over. Coberger has confessed, right? But he has nothing else to do. He can't make videos on anything else. Right? He has to keep trying to milk this. I mean, it's pretty pathetic, right? Anyway, let's get on with it. Hope you guys have a great day.
I did see that things were moving and some images came out, some pictures. You're looking absolutely amazing, I must say, this Monday morning. I hope you have a fantastic week. But yeah, so these images came out that would depict the crime scene that we've all been told about over the last 2.5 years. Or do they depict the crime scene that we have been told about over the last 2.5 years?
Like, once again, this is a moot point at this point, right? The killer has confessed, right? I mean, the house is demolished, right? Why is he talking about the blood and everything now, right? There's no house left, Harsh, right? The guy's confessed, okay? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so before we take a look at the photos, let's just touch on some pointers. So when we look at the pictures, we can ascertain whether they are a true representation of what we've been told. Now, first of all, we'll get this one out of the way, the room splitter, and that is that this was not a D-Rug house. There was no such thing. That's what some people have said. These kids didn't do that. Oh, you're stupid if you think that. What you're talking about? Well, there are pictures that would potentially tell us that that's just not the case. And
what did he say? This is not a D-Rug house? What? I can't even understand what he's trying to say.
This is potentially just a normal student house where they dabbled in the devil's.
Oh, he's saying drug house? Harsh, you can say drug, you know? You can say drug house. D-Rug? I've never even heard that before. Has anybody else heard a D-Rug house? What?
Dandruff. But we have also been told that this was a gruesome crime scene, potentially one of the worst scenes that's ever been seen, that would bring even the most hardy people to tears. We saw the after effect, the ramifications of what Bill Thompson had seen as he broke down in tears during the sentencing hearing, you know.
I'm still trying to understand what his point of all this is, right? I mean, the guy's confessed. Harsh, what are you getting at here, man? You know? You don't see enough blood in the pictures? So what? So what, Harsh? We don't know when these pictures were taken. We don't know anything about these pictures.
And yes, do these pictures depict
what
we've been told? So we have a look. Let's have a look together. Because what I will say, a trigger warning, because there is some red stuff, and I know that some people are ultra sensitive.
So he's just finished telling us how there's barely any blood, and then he's giving a fucking trigger warning about how there's blood. Like, what?
To certain things, and I don't want anybody breaking down in tears or throwing up over their computer or whatever they watch.
Shut up, man. Get on with the video.
So this is a stairway. And what do we learn from the stairway? Well, we learn that this was indeed a party house. It was a shithole. an absolute shithole. Typical teens party house that doesn't seemingly get cleaned after a party, because we would sort of believe that there was.
So I just want to get this straight. He's calling, 4 people that were murdered's house a shithole. I mean, what a dickhead, right? What a narcissistic piece of shit, right? I mean, it looks like they just had some people over. I mean, this was after the murders, I mean, they didn't get time to clean up, Harsh. They didn't have a chance to, you dumbass. And he's calling them at this place a shithole, right? It just tells you the kind of guy this guy really is.
Wasn't a party on this particular day, so this would have been from potentially a party the day before or whatever, but it was seemingly not the cleanest house, but this is a stairway. Just stairs. So we move on.
I mean, Harsh is talking about this while he's got fucking the crookedest fucking teeth that you can possibly imagine. Why don't we make fun of you, Harsh? I mean, you're fucking fat and you got get some fucking braces, dude. If you got some money. I guess you don't.
Through the photographs
talking about,
which the next photograph we come to is this one here.
You're a piece of crap.
If we can get this to jump forward in time, for some reason it doesn't want to move, so we play.
Why is he talking?
University of Idaho students were killed.
There we go. We'll jump forward. I don't know what that was trying to do. So that takes us to this bedroom here.
Why the hell is he talking like a freaking...
a lot happened here. I would say this is potentially
retard.
Dylan's bedroom, which would explain the lack of red stuff. Not much happening in here. Just a normal room.
I mean, he's going over the amount of blood, but we know for a fact 4 people were stabbed to death in these rooms, right? I mean, blood, no blood. We know they were stabbed to death, right? Hello? I still don't understand what is the point of this video? Somebody help me in the comments. Help me.
Not much to see here at all. So we will.
Then why are you making a video about it?
One. I don't know why that doesn't want to skip forward.
We'll have to not much to see.
The house frozen
here. This is the next room, which is where the table was with the cups.
The
cups
table,
that were supposed to be heard when they fell. I'll tell you something. If you can hear these cups fall on this table, then you're going to hear everything else that was happening in this house. If you don't agree, let me know down below. There's a lot of lights as well, and I would imagine that these lights were on all the time. I don't think that these were the sort of light. If they can't even clear up after themselves, the chances are that these lights are left on pretty much all the time. I don't think that officers came in here and thought, let's change the vibe.
Okay, first of all, it looks like the windows are, there's no shades or blinds. The sunlight is beaming through on the wall here, right? Second of all, these aren't like normal. These are lights that usually stay on all the time. Like these are like little Christmas lights over here, and then there's a freaking neon sign, right? It's not. You don't just turn them off all the time, right? I mean, come on, Harsh.
Let's change the vibe. It's a little bit gruesome in here. Maybe if we put some pretty lights on it, it will change the tone. So these lights would have been on, which would have emitted quite a light. And we also hear from Molly, who would sort of say that the lights were also on in the windows, as she would see someone bobbing and weaving in the window, which would suggest to me, I don't know about you, but it would suggest to me that this house perhaps wasn't as dark as we would be led to believe, which again raises questions, because if you're then seeing someone, because I always spoke about continuity of light, between.
Okay, let's remember when Coberger went in the house, the killer, Brian Coberger, when he went into the house, right? Everybody was in their rooms. So why are you talking about the hallway being lit up, Harsh? Right? There could be, 50 LED lights in this hallway. It wouldn't have mattered. They're all sleeping in their beds, Harsh. You're a freaking dumbass, man. What's the point of this video? The title is New Idaho 4 crime scene photographs raise questions. What's new?
Between Dylan Mortensen opening her door, unless there was a continuous solid effect between the two areas, then whoever was leaving this property, they would see the differential between the light being cast from the open door of the room and the hallway. And there isn't also a lot of room here. Well, this is something that you learn, and we'll touch on this later on in the video.
Please don't.
What we do know is that this house was knocked down, wasn't it? And maybe it was knocked down for an actual purpose now, which is seemingly becoming clearer and clearer as we move through. But yes, let's move on to
signs
the
of a
next
party.
one here.
Dishes
Little bit of a shithole once
in the
again.
sink.
See, he's calling it a shithole. I mean, this is how college kids live. Harsh, I don't know what you did, when you were, in your early 20s, like where you lived. Obviously, you must not have had a good, a good time around that age, because when I was that age, I lived exactly like this. Drinking all the time, having fun with my friends. Hello. I mean, can anybody else relate? Or are you with Harsh and just call this a shithole and have no idea because Harsh was living with his mommy? You know what I mean?
These newly released crimes.
Cups everywhere. Just, again, and look.
Harsh had his mommy clean up for him. That's why he's calling this a shithole, because mommy was cleaning up for him.
This is a student house, so I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. It's just it is what it is. It's a party house, and there is remnants of parties.
Blurred by police.
Well, no, say what you keep saying, Harsh. Keep calling it a shithole like you've been calling it. There's some beer cans on the floor, and it's a shithole. Like what?
This room here is obviously one of the rooms that would, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would believe that this is Xana's room. I do not think that this is the room that Kaylee and Maddie were in. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe
is Xana's
that this
room.
is.
And look, there's blood on the walls, there's blood on the sheets.
The only thing that throws me...
And we know that there was blood coming out of the wall on the floor. That's why we don't see, if this is Xana's room, that's probably why we don't see all, tons of blood, because it's all on the floor coming out of the freaking house. But we can see enough with the part that's not blurred out. Maybe the part that's blurred out has a big ass spot, right? I'm sure it's blurred out for a reason, right?
Me off here is with where they said, obviously Ethan was found. He was found with his head almost down the back of the bed, so that would be problematic if this was indeed Xana's room, because it doesn't then give a representation of what we was told. But look, that's what I think, but I could completely be wrong, and this could indeed be the room that Kaylee and Maddie was in. Again, let me know down in the comments, because it would offer a bit more of a representation of what happened in there if that was their room.
So again, he has no idea. I'm going to guess, this is just glancing at this photo, this was probably where Kaylee and Maddie were, because I would think one of them would have there's two separate blankets. They were sleeping in the same bed. I would think Ethan and Xana would have probably the same, blanket. I'm just speculating here, but I would say this is probably Kaylee and Maddie's room, just because of the two blankets. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think.
You've obviously got some blurrage in the middle here. You have got some cast off here, but when we went over the injuries and how many injuries had been sustained,
so here we have Harsh is about to act like he's some crime scene technician, investigator, and gonna try and speak on where the cast off and how much there's gonna be. I mean, that's just ridiculous. He has no freaking idea where the cast off from the injuries would be, or be. Obviously, this is it, right? I mean, we know the people got stabbed. Kaylee and Maddie, Xana and Ethan got stabbed in this room. This is the blood that was left. That's a fact. You know what I mean? I don't know why he is trying to debunk this. Oh, I do know why. To try and keep his views up, because he has to do a freaking Idaho war video every day, right?
Just the sheer ferocity of the attack. It's an odd one, because again, dependent on the room, you've got to think that this happened in two rooms, and the question is does this room offer an honest representation of what we've been told?
Okay, next room.
If you factor in what would have been the injuries sustained in both of these rooms. Obviously, we've got this down here, which is an odd one, where that is located. That, to me, is almost like someone has moved that. Because that looks like potentially someone moved this down here. And if you look above where that C is, that's almost...
Once again, he has no fucking idea if anybody moved that. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, what, you think Coberger would have, in the middle of committing this crime, the killer, Brian Coberger, the killer, the one who admitted to killing these people, right? You think in the middle he would have grabbed this Coors Light box and moved it? I don't think so. I mean, why would he do that, right? Come on. He was only in there for less than 10 minutes, right?
Most where someone put that bag down there, they had the red stuff on them and caught the box as they placed this bag down. That's how it looks to me. Obviously, blur and some.
It's more likely one of the victims probably hit it while they were, after they got stabbed. My opinion.
Something out over here. They've blurred something out here, which almost to me looks like another card. Whether they've blurred it because it's got someone's name on it that is visible, that would make sense to me, but that does look like a second card. But when we have cards and what appears to be a rolled up bill here, and I know that in the documentation there was some mention of some blue powder potentially, but look.
Okay, once again, most college students, they take Adderall, right? A lot of them crush it up and snort it with a dollar bill, right? And they use the card to put the pill underneath and crush and, put something hard, the pill under the card, crush it up, use the card, and then snort it. Yes, I have done it before too. So, I guess Harsh has not ever done this in his life. Once again, he's been in mommy's house his whole life. And now his wife is paying for everything. He doesn't understand this free life, you know.
Look, this is what it is. I don't think we have to go too much into that. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that was very likely happening here. We shall continue.
Investigators can now make public after Coberger pled guilty.
Clearer view there, look. What's that, like a $2 bill, perhaps? Again, there's quite a lot of dark there, the blur.
Bill.
But it does look potentially
I don't even know
like
what American
another
money
card. Whether it's some form of receptacle for whatever entered in this end and came out that end. After spending a bit of time on the edge here, I do not know.
Once again, this is a guy that lives in England talking about a case that happened in America every single day. Okay? He doesn't talk about cases that are happening in England. He talks about this one case and this one case only, right? And every time he tries to do a video on a different case, it gets no views. And then he goes back to doing this, right? And let me remind you, he does this full time. This is his full-time job, right?
No, but perhaps we'll never know what was under there.
The murders last month.
But again, we're not.
Police also releasing this security footage from a neighbor's home where at 4:20 a.m. you can hear a dog barking, followed by a car believed to be Coberger's speeding away.
It was Coberger's. He was caught on the DoorDash drivers. The DoorDash driver had a camera. His car was caught on multiple different cameras. And, you know, we don't even need to speculate anymore because, once again, Coberger has admitted to the crimes, everybody. So if you still believe Coberger is innocent, you're gonna tell me, you're gonna say he's innocent, and then you're gonna say, I don't know who did it, right? You're a clown, okay? That's just the bottom line.
NBC News is not airing all the images released by police, in part out of respect for the family.
So there are other images. They have basically said there's other images.
All right, so that's all the images he's got. Once again, the title of the video, New Idaho 4 crime scene photos raise questions. I didn't hear him ask one question. I mean, what questions do these raise, right? Where's the blood? Is that the question? I don't get it, right? We know the people were killed, right? We know who the killer was. And I don't really see the point of him even making this video, to be honest with you. So, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. And I hope you have a great day. Until next time, TrueCrimeKing, out.